All right, let's move on to a kind of a broader topic. And LME, you wrote a piece that's great on ESPN.com. You can check it out about young players. Obviously, Gavi going away international duty, getting a serious knee injury, the amount of minutes he's put forward at Barcelona. Pedri also having injury issues at Barcelona. Saka played 87 straight games at one point. That streak got broke earlier this year. Premier League games, obviously mix in international duty there too. Younger players, a lot of stress on their body and some injury issues. As you look at the landscape right now in world football and how many minutes these guys are playing, what is your conclusion? Are we going to see these injuries hamper what could be really bright careers?
Yeah, Dallin, I wrote this a few weeks ago in my column, and it's been an ongoing theme for me. And then Sam Tighe wrote a great piece about it as well, with more perspective regarding, as you mentioned, with these young players. And I'll give you some stats here, and this is per Fifth Pro, the organization that represents professional players. And they came out with a study sort of comparing these young stars of today and how much they have played as opposed to the others in the past. Vinicius Jr., for example, by 22 years old, which is what he is, has already played close to 19,000 minutes for the club, for Real Madrid, and previous clubs, of course, and the Brazilian national team. That's more than twice as Ronaldinho by that time of that age. Pedri, who is heavily discussed in Sam's piece, by 20, he's played more than 12,000 minutes. That's 25% more than Xavi at the same age. Kylian Mbappe, by 24, has played 26,962 minutes, and that's an astonishing almost 50% more than Thierry Henry at the same time. So, it doesn't surprise me at all that you're seeing these multiple injuries. And by the way, the list goes on and on. Bukayo Saka is another example, right? Zaire Emery, the young teenager from PSG as well, and Gavi, of course, the disastrous situation that happened there. But it just goes to show a few things. One, I think there's too much reliance on these players. These players want to play. Obviously, it's what they love. And I feel like sometimes managers, in fact, I heard Luis de Campos, the Spanish national team manager, said, look, before he got injured, Gavi just wants to play, and that's what the best type of players do. They just want to play. That's fair enough. But when you're at that age, you have to, at some way, balance what's happening, especially since it's not just domestic competition, it's also European competition. Then it's Winter World Cup, which, by the way, another study showed that has been a cause of injuries as well. This season in the Premier League, it's almost 200 injuries. We're not even in December. So there is a problem here, and it's one, the overwhelming number of tournaments and competitions that we play, whether they're official or not. And the other, I think there is a lot of reliance on these young athletes. And part of it is also because, these players are now benefiting from such tremendous sort of coaching throughout the years. They're becoming better and better at a younger age. But this is also coming at a hindrance, hence by the minutes that I just told you. So it is a worry. And I hope that in the future, we'll be able to see something different. But at the end of the day, my friend, money talks. And these tournaments and these matches are going to continue, so on and so forth.
Yeah, Giannis, is it more of the organizational structure, the different, the club, the country, more competitions, more games put in, or is there a responsibility for the club as well particularly to protect some of these younger players? You got to maximize your value and your asset, and you got to win games, but you want to have that player play for a long time.
Sure, but they have everything to do that, right? I mean, especially the big clubs. I mean, they have the medical departments. They have just about every metric you can possibly have, right? I don't see I don't want to say I don't see a problem, but play them. They're good. They're young, and they should be playing. There's more competition. Yes, the careers are going to be shorter. That's just the nature of the beast. This is football right now. Now, I don't know much about. You guys probably know a little bit better American football, but I know that the careers are getting shorter, and they play once a week. But the demands of the game are such that for some reason or another, these careers are shorter. Now, obviously, there's a lot of hitting, this, that, or the other. So there's more chance for injury in American football than I suppose in our football. But these guys will, of course, always want to play. Look, one outlier for me is Pedri, because we all saw it coming. The entire world, right, saw it coming when he played those, whatever it was, 87 games, and even they sent him to the Olympics for God knows what reason. We knew he was going to break down. He broke down, and now he may never be the same, right? Well, he's not looking the same now, even watching him yesterday. So that was outrageous, because that was one competition that he didn't need. But with everybody else, look, I mean, we used to say, well, young players don't get an opportunity because they're not young enough. Now it's the other way around. Look, play them. They're good. There's never guarantees that if if you spare them, that they're gonna have great careers forever. So I'm not saying here that run them to the ground, but I will also push back on the fact that, these people know. Look at the coaching stuff and the analytics and everybody that they have at the club, right? They got to catch it, because young players will always want to play, and at times take them out. But I wouldn't be taking young, great star that contributes immensely to my team out of my team just for that reason. So somewhere down the line, he may still be great, because we will never know that.
I see Janish's point, Alan, but one of the issues right now is that they are running these players to the ground. That's the point. That's the problem. That's what these numbers are showing. And when you're 20 years old, 19 years old, then there has to be something evaluated to show that, come on, we have to think about the marathon, not a sprint. I get Janish's point, which is about you entered this professional job as a professional player. You've been playing probably from the age of 14, 15 at a very high level. But I think that what's happening now is the odds are against you. It's not just that, look, injuries happen or whatever, but not only injuries happen, we're going to give you as much overwhelming minutes as you can take in order for you to see if you can handle it. And look what's happened to Pedri, Gavi, Jude Bellingham is another one, by the way, playing 30% more than what Wayne Rooney did back in the day. So, to me, it's not just about, yes, I understand these are young players, they're professionals, and we should be able to give them all the opportunity they can to play. But sometimes we have to think about the human being as well, because these players also want to play until later on in life as well.
Yeah, see, the issue, and I know you don't mean that, the issue with that is we're just saying young players, but those are individual cases. Everybody's different. If you look at Bukayo Saka, for example, right? You've all seen and you've all read. Super professional, gets there early in the morning, doesn't do anything, but works out, gets strong. This is a guy that doesn't go out, doesn't do absolutely anything. He's a strong man that's been playing a lot. I'd like to think that Mikel Arteta is a smart manager. And he's proven that over the years as a player and as a manager right now. He understands that's probably he's taken a little bit of a risk, but he's taken that risk. I don't necessarily think it's just because of pressure. I really don't. I think you have to look at these players in a different way on an individual basis. And for some, sometimes just bad luck. With Gavi, yes, of course, we can sit here and says, well, it was an overload. That's why his ACL went. Maybe not. Mine went. I was standing. I literally standing, right? And okay, everybody can go as deep into that foxhole as you want, rabbit hole, I should say. But I just think that sometimes we just make these statements overall that these, there's more games, and I get that, by the way. I understand that they have to be managed, but I think we have to be careful in terms of saying, who do we trust? Who's doing the right job? And some are doing better job than others. And I think that's where I stand on that.
Yeah, my point, very quickly, my point wasn't a statement. It's derived from facts and statistics from what's happening. That's it.
And I think where the nuance between both of you guys are saying is the club, though, when they have these facts and information, how do you act upon them? Because
Damon, you know what? That's the. Yeah, no, sorry, buddy, to interrupt, but you know what? I'm not even blaming the likes of Mikel Arteta or something like that. But it's also like, another Club World Cup, a newly formatted Club World Cup, more international friendlies, the Nations League. At some point, they need a break. And I feel that it's not even just the physical, but it's also the mental.